All right, everybody, welcome to Wednesday Winners. We had to postpone it yesterday, but we're here today. We're excited. We're ready to learn. We've got a ton of people on as usual. That means you guys are hungry. That means you want to learn. That means you want to succeed in this business. And it makes me happy every single time I see everybody on here. I see a lot of regulars. I see a lot of new faces. So, Wednesday Winners, just to give you a little definition, we go over a lot of broad topics in our national calls, and this is where I like to hone in and really dig out the finesse and the little nitty-gritty details that really help you become a top-tier agent. And boy, oh boy, tonight is an important call. We have four quadrants that we make money in this business. The first is obviously buying leads and helping clients. The second is getting referrals out of those clients and making more money and helping more people. The third way, which is tonight's call, is about annuities and IULs. So we are going to be training you on how to find opportunities to write annuities and index universal life by asking specific questions that you should be doing every single time you have an appointment, because you never know. Jared, last year, Jared, you're on the line with us. He's the guru here at the Lisa Group. Hey, buddy, on annuities and IULs. Jared, how much did you write last year in annuities alone?
Made over an additional six figures just off of annuities and IULs.
An additional six figures? Oh my goodness. See, this is why we have such an amazing opportunity. Not only did he excel in quadrants 1 and 2, but he's excelling in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. He's building an agency. He's got a large agency. He's a regional manager shooting for VP in the next 90 days. Is that right, Jared?
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah. So now, I mean, you make anywhere from what, 3 to 8% on your annuities, depending on your contract level. Guys, people are putting in on average
level. Yeah, yeah. It can be 2 to 8 depending on contract level and product.
Yeah.
Certain products pay more.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what is an annuity? Well, if you all took your exam, you should know what it is, but we'll give you kind of a lowdown. What it is an insurance carrier has this product where you can place money into fixed index annuities. So, Jared, it is attached not to the market, but in a side account with a carrier. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's not in the market, but it's follows the market, if you will. So the basic way that indexing works, and I'm glad that you pointed it out, Lake, that an annuities, we do fixed indexed annuities. There are lots of other kinds of annuities out there, but what we really focus on is fixed indexed annuities. Number one thing, I don't know, are you going to bring up variable?
I was just going to mention it.
Yeah. So there are variable annuities where your money's actually in the market and you can lose money in those. So we do fixed index. Basically, if the market goes up, you get the credit. If it goes down, your money just stays right where it is. Just the simple of it.
Yeah, exactly. The easiest way to understand what an annuity is basically you know how you can get a whole life policy and that earns a certain amount. Well, where does that money come from? Where does that interest come from? Well, that's a side account with a carrier, how they invest it. So imagine annuity is all the cash value building properties of a life insurance product like an IUL, but without a tax-free death benefit. All it is there's no health questions needed. There's just what's called suitability questions to make sure, because it is heavily regulated on what you can put into these annuities. Okay, so the great thing about it is that you can take someone's old 401k, not something they're currently contributing on, but they can put that money, let's say it's $100,000 into an account. Okay, that money can continue to grow as the market grows. Well, if you had a 401k and everybody lost about 20%, some people lost 40% during COVID in their 401k. The great thing about fixed indexed annuities is that you cannot lose money. There is a floor. Sometimes, typically it's 0%, but I'd rather keep my money the same than lose 30%, right? So that is what an annuity is. And then an index universal life is the same thing, but you have a tax-free death benefit attached to it, but it still has the similar properties where you're earning interest with the carrier from their side account. So how we ask people for it. So in the beginning of each presentation, you're just kind of do some fact finding like you normally do. You're going to talk to people and say, hey, do you have anything that would help take care of your mortgage or help take care of your debts if you passed away tomorrow? Maybe another life insurance policy, maybe an old 401k, maybe some money in the bank. Why are we asking these questions? Because most people don't know about fixed index annuities. They don't, not everybody sees a financial planner and has some crazy stock scheme to make money, right? And a lot of people are scared to do that because of the giant losses that are created when you put your money directly into the stock market. So we'll ask them questions. Yeah, Lake, I've got an old 401k. I'm not contributing anymore. It's got about, $300,000 in it. Great. Well, how much of that could you afford to lose, John? It looks at me funny. None of it. And I said, exactly. Well, John, what if I told you there's 3 ways that your money works? It can either go down in the 401k, it can go up, or it could stay the same. If I could eliminate one of those, which one it would be? It would say, obviously, the go down part, right? And that's what an annuity will allow you to do. It'll eliminate, in a fixed indexed annuity, eliminate your money having to go down and suffer from market loss, right? That is what drums it up in the beginning. Now I'm going to toss it to Jared, who's got this down to a T. Can you share with us how you approach that with your clients in your meetings, Jared?
Absolutely. I do the same thing that you just did. I ask them, hey, is there anything that might have acted like a life insurance policy that would offset this mortgage if something had happened to you yesterday? Maybe an old 401k, old IRA, savings in the bank larger than an emergency fund, right? And people are always afraid, agents are always afraid to ask these questions initially because they feel like they don't know enough. But here's the honest truth. You don't have to do this by yourself. Just find the money. Just ask the question and find the money. And he's like, hey, I have $200,000. Car 516. Like, can you?
Yeah, got it.
Perfect. And just find the money. And then when you find the money, you say, hey, perfect. So we help people with this kind of stuff too. Safe retirement income. And what I ask all my clients is, hey, do you consider yourself a saver or an investor? If they say saver, that's your person. First of all, they don't want to lose money, right? If they say investor, I do exactly what Lake just said. Oh, so you have 300,000 in an old IRA from an old job. Perfect. Do you consider yourself a saver or an investor? Well, I consider myself an investor. Perfect. So how much of that $300,000 are you prepared to lose? Well, I don't want to lose any. Well, then you're a saver. You're like me, And so what we show all our clients is, hey, in the most basic sense of the term, your money can do 3 things. Your money can go up, your money can go down, or it can just stay right where it is. And if I could show you a way to eliminate one of those 3 things, which one would you want eliminated? Well, to go down. And that's what we show people how to do. Now, we'll talk about this at a different time, on a different day. We're going to go ahead and get you protected with the mortgage protection. But I just wanted to let you know that we're going to attack your finances from a multi-pronged approach to be sure that we're doing the best thing for your family. Sound good? Perfect.
Yeah.
And you've just gotten a trial close of, yeah, I want more information about that, right? So never, and I'll toss it back to you here in a sec, but we never want to try to sell an annuity in the first appointment. We bam fam it, book a meeting from a meeting. So you always do what you're there to do first, whether it's get life insurance, mortgage protection, or final expense. Those are the 3 things that we do. When you find money, you go ahead and protect them with what they were there. And then a great thing to do what I do with the persistency, like when you call them and congratulate them, hey, we just got you approved. Oh, that's great. Perfect. So remember that thing that we were talking about your 401k, your IRA? Yeah, perfect. So when's a good time to go over those numbers? I was talking to my team and we got some things put together for you. Do you work or have any appointments later today or tomorrow?
Easy as that.
Easy as that.
And yeah, you brought up a good point, which I wanted to say. We never do that in the same meeting. You have to keep your sales process simple for the client, and you can overwhelm them with the amount of information that comes from the annuity and totally distract them from doing what's important, which is taking and protecting their mortgage or getting enough life insurance to, leave behind the income for their family. Okay. So when we book that meeting from a meeting, and then we're going to sit down with them, it's a really easy conversation, right? Because what's going to happen is that no one wants to lose money, and you have to build an emotional picture just like you would in mortgage protection. Let's say you're turning 68 years old and you're ready to retire. Every single penny of your retirement is into a 401k, and then COVID hits. And you lose 40% of your retirement. Your retirement was supposed to last you 20 to 25 years. Now it's going to last you 10, right? That is a gut wrenching that you just spent your entire life putting that money into a 401k and you just watched 40% of it disappear. So guess what happens? Most people stay working to contribute back to the 401k. Jared, on average, I don't know this on the top of my head, but how long does it take someone to earn back what they lost from a huge recession?
So in 2008, when the market tanked, lost 38.5 points in 1 year, just like what Lake was talking about. Imagine trying to retire in 2008. Most people didn't get back to even within 4 to 5 years. So it took 4 to 5 years. And now people, like what Lake said, kept working, kept contributing, but the original amount just to get back to where they were, 4 to 5 years. But people, we can always make more money. What financial advisors will say is, excuse me, the market will always come back. But what have we lost? We've lost time. And who wants to lose 4 to 5 years of time at that point in your life? And this one thing I was going to add that I always talk to retirees about, if it is, something that they're looking to do for retirement income, we find two sets of people that just use it as a buffer, pass on to their wife. They don't really have any plans of doing that legacy money. And then people that actually need it for income. And a retiree's number one concern is not when I'm going to pass away. It's, do I have enough money to get to that day when I do pass away?
That's exactly what annuities are for, to insure you for living longer than outliving your retirement. That's what an annuity does. And in fact, annuities have some amazing riders. There's a lifetime income benefit rider where, let's say you have $400,000 in there. It paid you over 15 years, right? And then the money's gone, right? Well, any other investment, it's gone. There's nothing else you can do. The insurance carrier will actually, with a lifetime income benefit rider, will continue to pay your monthly stipend until the day you pass away, even if there is $0 in the account. That is huge. That insures you from living too long, right? That takes care of that income need for your family. Now, there's a bunch of special rules that are required for setting people up with an annuity. We're not going to go too far into detail, but we're just going to kind of scratch the surface on them. First one is what's called suitability. Okay. So suitability is just a fancy way of saying, hey, we need to see if your funds qualify to get put into an annuity without making you financially desperate. So basically the government says, hey, you can put everything liquid that you have up to 80%, right? You can't put your entire life savings into one basket. They don't want you to do that. So you have to have a qualifying event. You can't be, the client can't be, you know, a current 401k that they're contributing to. It has to be an old one, right? That's a qualifying event. If it's savings that they had to have paid taxes on it, right? There's no way to avoid taxes. It is what it is. But usually, typically, we're seeing savings or old 401ks. Now, Jared, what happens if they don't have anything and they're currently contributing to just one 401k?
If they're just contributing to one 401k, I plant the seed. Like, hey, I'm actually going to be with you through the majority of this journey, if not all of this journey with you, you know, and just file it in the back of your head when you get ready to retire or you leave this job. Hey, Jared said he might be able to help me with this, and give me a call. Information's free. I don't charge you to sit down and go over it like most people do. And maybe it's a fit and maybe it's not, but at least you got a free education. But I always make a note in my, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. Make a note in my notes to kind of put it in my calendar. Hey, so, you know, you're 60 now. You know, you just left this job. You went to a different job. You had $350,000 in that old 401k that we need to roll over. When do you plan on retiring? You know, and I'll reach out to them around that time.
Yeah. One thing that I do, if someone doesn't have anything, but they're contributing to a 401k, we plant the seed and we talk about the risks of a 401k. And this is where IULs come in. So an employer will match, typically they'll take and match a certain percentage of your 401k. The worst I've seen is like 1%. You know, you have to put 5% in for them to match 1%. The best I've seen is 6%, which is a lot of money from that employer. So if your client, let's say they're earning, you know, they're putting in 8% of their income and their employer is matching 4%. Okay. Well, on 4% of that money, it's an automatic double. You're never going to beat an automatic double that's then going into the market. But you can show them how to diversify with those extra 4% that they have. Okay. You can show them, don't leave all your eggs in a 401k. Yes, it's great. You compliment it on them, say you did such a good job doing that. And you're never going to break away from a clean double before you go into the market. But what about that other 4%, right? And all I do is I take that number and I multiply it by their monthly income. Let's say it's, you know, $8,000 and it's 4%. I'm really bad at quick math, but let's say $4,000 times 4%. Let's say that's $160 a month, right? They're putting $160 a month above and beyond what's being matched in their 401k. Then I bam-fam an IUL by saying, hey, what if I could show you that extra money could be a tax-free retirement? That gets their ears perking. And that's really all I'm going to give them. I'm just going to give them a like the sizzler, right? I forget what they call that. You know what I'm talking about, Jared, but
the appetizer.
The appetizer. There we go. So we're going to give you the appetizer so that
and
when
I
we
always
come
tell
back,
a story, like,
yeah.
I always tell a story about a farmer. I don't know if you've ever heard this one. But I was like, I asked him, do you know who invented a 401k? No, who? The United States government and a really smart Wall Street guy. Do you know why they invented it? No, why? They thought it'd be a really great savings plan for Uncle Sam. Think about it like this. If you're a farmer and you have a $50 bag of seed, what the United States government has told you is, hey, Mr. Farmer, you're a hardworking farmer. Don't pay us any taxes on that $50 bag of seed you just bought. You go plant that seed, water it, fertilize it, and when you go to harvest it in retirement, you can just pay us taxes on that $50,000 harvest. Which one do you want to pay taxes on? The $50 or the 50,000?
Yep, exactly. So with the tax-free retirement, their eyes light up. Like I can skip taxes. Well, they're not really skipping taxes. They're just putting their money after-tax dollars into an account so that we can make it tax-free towards the end. And this works great. This is where the million-dollar baby comes in. I did one a few months ago. A young mother, 6-month-old son. She's putting $150 away into an IUL for her son. She's the owner of the policy. She has access to the money. By the time her son is 65 years old, actually, I did it when he was 68 years old. He's going to be able to pull out $336,000 a year, every year from age 68 to age 93.
Income tax free.
Income tax free, because they started when we were young, right? Jared, I wish our parents did this for us when we were young, right?
Oh man, absolutely. So what did you say? 336?
Yes.
Like,
yep.
Oh, guys, taking out $336,000 in order to generate that income in a 401k, you would have to be able to generate $400,000 a year at a 15% tax bracket. Who do you know that's making 400 grand a year in a 15% tax bracket?
Nobody.
Nobody. So in order to get that, you would have to basically save about $10 million to generate that kind of income in a 401k that Lake is showing them how to do in an IUL. Just quick math.
Yes, exactly. And this is a great way to introduce your friends and families in your warm market into some insurance. I mean, the younger crowd, they're going after what's called infinite banking. Yeah, infinite banking. There's some misconceptions there, right? There's a lot of math involved and a lot of front loading the policy. If you have someone approach you about infinite banking, go to your upline. We can definitely help you with that. But at least they were interested enough to talk to you, and then you can show them what an actual IUL can do, because not everybody's got a few $1 million like rich people to front load that policy.
Truth.
So, but those are the two ways in quadrant 3 that you can make an extra 6 figures a year. I think, Jared, you placed close to 2 million.
Yeah. No, more than that. I think it was closer to
$3 million of his clients' money into annuities last year to get over another 6 figures in his income, and he's already making 6 figures. Guys, guess what? So he's making 6 figures in quadrant 1 and 2. He made 6 figures in quadrant 3, and he's making 6 figures in quadrant 4 building his team. How amazing is that for an opportunity here? If he is utilizing the full scope of what we have here at the Lisa Group. So those are annuities and IULs in a nutshell. Like I said, get with your upline, talk with them. We can show you where to start, what videos to check out on Workplace. We learned a lot from the carrier itself. You'll call a carrier, they'll help you set up with a case. And really all you have to do as a new agent is find the money. Your upline is going to know exactly what to do, exactly what to write. Okay. There's no medical questions involved. It is kind of a lengthy process. It can take as little as 10 days, and as much as, as much as 40 days if you let it.
Right. And like, that's one thing that I love about annuities. Annuities have no medical underwriting. You have to qualify based on your finances, based on suitability. But for somebody that might not be very healthy, this is another great way to show them how to protect their mortgage,
Absolutely. Absolutely. That didn't even occur to me, but yeah, they could take that money and insure themselves. That way, down the road, 10 years down the road, their family has the money that he wish he could have gotten in a life insurance policy. Right? I mean, there's the 7-10 rule. If you're earning 7%, it'll take you 10 years to double your money. If you're earning 10%, it'll take you 7 years to double your money. So, anybody could take this money, and in 10 years, I'd love to, have an extra $100,000 on a $100,000 investment, right?
Absolutely.
So, all right, guys. Well, I want to open this up for questions. Go ahead, and down below, you're going to see a little reactions button. Click on that and then click raise your hand to get some questions in here. Any questions? Okay. So I don't see any questions. I know this is an intimidating product, but I want to show you something pretty cool. Jared actually just sent me a annuity illustration that we can all check out. Let me pull that up. J-Rod.
So this was a 60-year-old male that had $350,000 in his 401k, and he just switched jobs. He has about 8 years left in his career, just switched jobs. So we rolled this $350,000 out into an income annuity, the income shield. And so that's what it's going to look like. Scroll on down a little bit there. Like, get to the meat and potatoes of it.
Right here.
So there you go. So right there, it has an income rider on it that automatically is giving him money each year. It's called a roll-up. And they're giving him automatic money. There's 2 buckets in an annuity. I don't want to get too deep, but there's what the cash, the death benefit, and what the income rider is based on. It's called the benefit base. And so you see 10 years down the road, basically, he can take out $39,416 in perpetuity forever. And not run out of money. You see there that the cash surrender value at that point is $369,000. Well, just quick math, that's a little over 10%, like, that they're able to take out. In a typical 401k, just so y'all know, you can only use 4%. So $369,000 times 4, $14,760. Would you rather live off $14,760 or $39,416?
It's over double.
It's over double because we got them into a product that gave him no loss and guaranteed that he would be able to have that money forever and ever. Amen.
I love it. I love it. This is a no-brainer for some people, guys. And if the point that we're making here is that you need to be asking it to every single client. Okay. There are people who are not going to want to do this. There are going to be people who already have it taken care of. But guys, Jared asked us every single time and put over $3 million into annuities last year. Isn't it worth it? Don't be scared of asking these questions, okay? You do need to check with your state because some states require an additional 4-hour course for you to be able to do fixed index annuities, okay? There is other types of annuities like variable annuities. The reason we don't like those or variable universal life is because what happens is it's attached to the stock market and it takes away all the fun. Now it becomes liable to market loss. So this is why we like the fixed index part.
And if you find somebody that is in a variable annuity lake,
yes,
a lot of times we can transfer them out of that.
Yes.
And talk to them about the fact that, hey, you're in a very expensive product where you can actually lose money. What if I can give you all the benefits of why you like this initially, but guarantee you're not going to lose any money?
Forever and ever, amen.
Forever and ever, amen.
All right. Are we good with this illustration, Jared?
Yeah, man. I just wanted, if nobody had ever seen one before, I just wanted them to be able to see it.
Yeah.
Understand a little bit what it does.
Absolutely. Real quick, before we go, and we had someone put in, what, 350,000, you said?
Yep.
They got a $35,000 bonus for putting their money into this specific product.
Yep.
Guys, they got a 10% bonus that starts earning interest with all their other money immediately. So it's like, hey, I'm giving you $35,000 for placing this with me. They just gained $35,000. And if this gentleman lives to be 114 years old, this will have paid over $1.7 million in his lifetime. So it's pretty great stuff. Let's go back and open this up for questions. I see Danielle Leifert.
Hey, Lake, I just sent you $1 million baby if you want to cover that too. That's my daughter's policy. If you want to take a look at it and show them.
Yeah, sure. We can do that. So $1 million babies, you know what? We're gonna actually leave that. That's a pretty popular case. We're gonna do that another night.
Okay, sure.
Like, Jared,
Yes.
to people who are a little older, maybe over 50, would this resonate saying, have you ever considered setting up your own personal pension? Have you ever used that phrase? Because isn't this an annuity just like a pension your employer would have set up for you back in the day?
It is now. It is like a pension. That's how pensions function, is off of annuities. Rule of thumb, because I know sometimes people get confused on what people should do, whether an IUL or an annuity. An annuity is for somebody that has already saved their money and doesn't want to lose it.
Right.
Typically an older client, like what you're talking about. An IUL is for somebody that's still creating their wealth and building their wealth and wants a tax-free income.
Right.
So those are the two distinctions between them. Anyways, back to you, Lake.
Awesome. Danielle, you're up first.
Hey,
Bada
y'all.
bada swing, bada bada.
Yes. Well, I got the master in the other room, but I
Yeah.
actually got 3 questions because I know it can be intimidating for people, especially for me when it gets into depth. But let's kind of go back to the financial analysis when we asked them about your money can do 3 things: up, stay the same, go down. Which one would you want to rule out? So if they say, oh, I don't want to lose anything, then great, let's book an appointment. But is that kind of like all you recommend agents to say? Or, you know, you can, because I can see an agent going, oh my word, I got one, I got a band fam. And they're like, okay, tell me about them. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. I just got him. I'm going to call him, you know? So kind of give a little bit more in depth of kind of what to say so you can go to the upline and then come back.
Yeah, well, it's actually really straightforward. So you're asking them just a few different questions. Are they still contributing? That's the biggest one, right? Where's the money coming from? Okay. So if they are not contributing and it's an old 401k, we know that that's what's called qualified money that we can put into an annuity. Okay. If it's savings, we just have to ask a simple question. Okay. Did you win that in the lottery and pay taxes on it? Or did you stash that from, you know, your little side hustle on the side for 20 years? Is that mattress money? I like to call it mattress money, right? You know, because we can't avoid taxes on Uncle Sam. Those are pretty simple questions, you know, but that's where I pivot personally. If someone is still contributing to a 401k, hey, it's still got to work. It's the only one I have. Then I'm going to just pivot straight to an IUL and bam fam for the IUL after that. Jared, let's hear what you have.
So the big thing when you find people that have money, what I always ask, Lake, is what's your intent with that money? Is that just for a rainy day slush fund? Or is that something that you need to take an income off of in retirement? So that's an important thing for your upline to be able to know, so they know what kind of product to show them. Keep in mind, I know that illustration that we showed you, they were in that for about 10 years before they started taking an income. If somebody needs to take an income immediately, you can kind of guess on about 5%, 5 to 6% that they can start taking immediately without it growing. So pretty much anything under $300,000 is not going to create, or $200,000, let's say, anything under $200,000 is not really going to create that much of an income for people. So that's kind of a rainy day fund, but ask them because they may have ideas.
And then like the lowest amount that you can like say there's not a 401k, you know, but like just savings, is every carrier and product different of like the minimum amount that you can start with?
Yes, it is. American Equity, which is the carrier that we use for annuities, I believe that their floor is $5,000.
Which is a pretty reasonable floor, guys.
Pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it allows anybody into that sector of the market, which is great. They're very inclusive when it comes to that. And to go on the opposite side of things, most carriers will only allow you to put in between 1 and 2 million max per carrier.
Awesome.
You have to get it approved
Right.
if you're moving more than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome.
Other questions, Danielle?
No, just I mean, I had an old 401k, so if anyone has an old 401k, just go to your upline because it's doing it.
I love it.
But thanks, guys.
You got it.
As an American Equity 401 or it's an IRA, but an annuity.
Yeah. All right. And I saw Diane. Diane, are you still ready to ask a question?
Danielle covered it. I needed to know
Okay.
if there was a minimum.
Awesome. All right, guys. Hey, this is a time to ask questions. These are complicated topics. This is why we like to go in deep. This is a chance for you to talk and ask questions to learn in depth. And we've got a newbie asking a question. Rochelle Smith, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me well?
I can hear you great.
All right, perfect. Question about an IUL. Is there a specific age requirement? Because, you know, I know a lot of young people and, you know, they want to build wealth early. So when they do get to retirement age, they can pull out tax-free because that's going to be a great way to market it. So is there a specific age requirement?
18 for them to own their own policy. But if they've got a parent, you can start them at, you know, like I said, as soon as they're born. I think it's like 10 days is an amount, but I'm not sure if that's correct. Jared?
It's 14.
14 days.
Yep.
Okay.
After 14 days, they can get one. One thing that I have found, Rochelle, with young people, when you start talking to young people about retirement, they all think that they're going to retire by the time they're 50.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to set expectations and teach them about the time value of money and how money works. So it's good. They definitely should start, because what I always say is, when's the best time to plant a tree? Well, today's the best time to plant a tree because you will never be younger or healthier than you are today. So it's best to get that moving right now because it takes a long time to grow a tree. Saving for retirement is a long process. And you have to use the eighth wonder of the world, which is compound interest, in order to get there. So you have to educate them on that. If they are in reality and they realize, hey, I'm probably going to be working for the next 40 plus years, I can put away a little bit. Hey, you want to retire when you're 50? That's great. But not only are you retiring when you're 50, but instead of having, you know, a buffer of 20 years worth of income, you need a buffer of 30 years worth of income. Not only are you shortening the amount of time to save your money, you're lengthening the amount of time that you need your money. So you have to really have a ton of money to retire at 50.
Yeah, a ton.
Awesome
question. Absolutely. Guys, that pumps me up more than anything else. This guy is brand spanking new. Brand spanking new. You're under Kim Glass, are you not?
Yeah, under Kim Glass in Palm Beach, Florida right now.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and he's already asking questions. That confidence speaks loudly, sir. Proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got it. All right, guys. Any more questions before we shut this down? Going once, going twice. Guys, do you not want to make an extra 6 figures this year? Diane saying yes. Jared saying yes. Danielle, Zach. All right. Well, I guess there's a few people that want to make some extra money this year, and they've already asked questions. So anyways, guys, we will finish up tonight. It's 8:41. We're going to be back on our normal schedule next week. We will be doing a Wednesday winners on Wednesday this time next week at 8 p.m. And I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you are taking notes. You got to be there for conference. You're going to learn in depth about this kind of thing, which is really going to level up your game. I haven't missed a conference since I've been here 3.5 years. Jared has never missed one. Danielle's never missed one. And, you know, look at where they're at. And that speaks volumes in itself. So with that, I hope you guys have a great night.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you,
Good
Jared.
night, y'all.
Thank you, Blake.
You got it.
30K mindset call tomorrow morning. Have questions ready.
Yes,
Thank you.
exactly.
Bye. Thank you.
See you
Bye
guys.
now.
Appreciate you, Jerry. Appreciate you, Blake.